it's a prestigious institution that takes its mission seriously, training future journalists, filmmakers, and performers. But today, Emerson College showed a little bit of its silly side by honoring a fictional and rather farcical anchorman. Our Jared Bowen has more.
Tongue firmly planted in cheek, this morning Emerson College renamed its journalism and communication school the Ron Burgundy School of Communication.
For one entire day, and not a minute more.
Overcome with the adoration, Burgundy took the stage.
I'm literally in a glass case of emotion right now.
Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
He, of course, is the character played by Will Ferrell in the hit cult film Anchorman and its upcoming sequel.
The Ron Burgundy School of Communication will stand here for the test of time. 1,000 years from now, when the planet is controlled by robots and mutants from the X-Men series.
Leading up to today's press event, there had been some rancor on campus about toying with the journalism school's image. Burgundy addressed that with me.
I think what this school stands for is real journalistic principles and the constant defense of the Fourth Estate.
And a room filled with press, students, and alums such as myself, the rapidly witted Ferrell, always in character, spent 45 minutes offering observations, revelations, and counsel.
Of course, you have to report the facts. Unless it's too hard to find the facts, then just make something up. It goes without saying Boston was, of course, colonized by the Japanese in the early 1600s. Boston, the Japanese word for flight of the sparrow. There will be no school on Tuesdays through Friday. It'll just be an 18-hour day on Monday.
And that's the way of a Ron Burgundy day.
As mentioned, Jared is a graduate of Emerson College, but I guess today we can say he's the product of the Ron Burgundy School of Communication.
I guess that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
You know, Will Ferrell said himself that this is the most hype and promotion a film has ever gotten. This is this unbelievable social networking thing. He actually anchored a newscast out in Bismarck. This is like a phenomenal push.
Yeah, and he's done interviews as Ron Burgundy. He's done this television commercial, and it's kind of genius when you think about it. And I have to say, a little bit of me wavered back and forth myself when I first got the press release that this was happening. And do you really want to toy, especially working next to you for 15 years and beat the press?
What?
This is something that you think of immediately, but in the end, you know, it's just kind of fun. It allows us to poke fun at ourselves. I mean, I think for we journalists, this is a movie that we respond to because there are a lot of cliches that perhaps aren't cliches. Yeah. There are a lot of truths in what Ron Burgundy has to say about some of the pitfalls of journalism.
Well, you know, this is based on the true story of Jessica Savage, who was, you know, a beautiful blonde anchorwoman, which is why they had her, and who was harassed by and basically demeaned by her co-anchor, which was...
Well, I think it's also an amalgamation of a lot of people from the 70s and 80s, some of whom you may have even worked with, but... Should I not say any more? I'm getting the look from you.
So what does the student body and faculty at Emerson College say about the publicity stunt? Let's bring in Cindy Rodriguez, a journalist in residence at Emerson. So was there any consternation over this, Cindy?
There were some faculty members who maybe didn't get the joke.
Hadn't seen the movie.
Didn't understand, you know, what Ron Burgundy represents for young people, I think primarily, although he plays well for all sorts of people. But I didn't know the impact he had on young people until about a year ago when I was doing a workshop with Native American and African American students in South Dakota. And we happened upon, as we were walking, a dorm that had a window with a poster of Will Ferrell. And the students were just, oh my God, we have to take a picture with a photo. And so we started talking about Will Ferrell and Anchorman, and I hadn't seen the movie at that point. A week later, I saw it, and I thought it was really funny. But they were reciting lines. And then we also talked about what he represents. So, because they got that he was hamming up being sexist, being racist, being a jerk, being narcissistic. And so for me, I found like this week and the week before was just a great opportunity to bring these issues up and to talk about it and to use Ron Burgundy as an example of what not to do in journalism.
You actually brought it into the classroom.
Oh, we talked about Ron Burgundy quite a bit in class, yeah.
No surprise, I have not seen this movie.
No.
It's not really my kind of humor, but I don't have any journalistic problem with what Emerson College did. In fact, it's fun. It's making light. I mean, journalists are the most self-congratulatory, self-important, overly egotistical. And it's like, come on, lighten up a little.
Well, I think there's certainly precedent for this, too. I mean, we see Brian Williams now doing skits on Saturday Night Live and participating in talk shows and having fun. And I think sometimes we try to confine ourselves in these uber-serious ivory tower ways when that's really not the case with journalism. I mean, it breaks off. The president had fun with it, saying this is for one day and just a little bit more. But also, I mean, Emerson College is a school of the performing arts. It's a school of all communications. And frankly, one of the things I marveled at today was the fact that Will Ferrell had to come into this press conference where absolutely nothing was scripted and be in this character for 45 minutes and never slip. And one of the things that I was paying attention to were people laughing just because it's Will Ferrell talking and he's a celebrity who you have access to already. But no, he was actually very funny. He's very clever and crafty. So as much as this was a promotion for the movie, which of course, bottom line, this is what this is, I think it's also a thesis for some of the performing arts students and other students at Emerson College.
And may I add that the person who brought this idea to Emerson is an Emerson alum, the PR person who he also
PR
does,
person,
the publicist for Will Ferrell. He also is publicist for Steve Carell and for a number of other comedians, is an Emerson alum, so by the name of Matt Lubach. So, you know.
Yeah, why not? He could have taken his business elsewhere.
Exactly.
Right? It could have been any college of communication
And
in the
Emerson
world.
was a perfect fit for it, I think. You know, it's an opportunity to talk about marketing. I mean, this film, he's been working nonstop, just making going from one city to the next. And the museum had a big display and exhibit, and he was there, and and in character all the way.
I may have to go see this one.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. I think you'd recognize some things in it,
you
Emily.
think? All right, Jared Bowen, Cindy Rodriguez, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, and that is it for Greater Boston. Join us tomorrow night. We'll be joined by presidential historian and author Doris Kearns Goodwin. Her new book chronicles the rise of muckraking journalism, taking us back in time to the presidencies of William Taft and Teddy Roosevelt. I wonder what they'd make of Ron Burgundy. All right, I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for watching.
But I don't know if you realize this, radio is dead. So the answer is yes, I'll be there in a half hour. Of all the colleges to give me this esteemed award, to be recognized by the Electoral College,